What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Skill Garage. In the previous episode, we finished off almost all the bodywork for the AMG Benz, which included clear coating and adding all the exterior details. Unfortunately, the paint didn't come out the way I wanted to, but fortunately, y'all left a bunch of advice in the comments down below, and I'm extremely grateful for that, and I definitely will apply that to the next build. But for this one, we're going to move past that and keep it moving. With the body out of the way, that leaves the chassis and the interior to be finished. Fortunately, this kit includes a motor to go along with the chassis, which, to complement the real car, has a twin-turbo 4-liter V8, which you can see has plenty of detail. Before I can move over to painting this, there are a few parts that need to be assembled since it's all going to be the same color. And following this, the gearbox needs to be assembled as well. Then we can move over to painting the chassis. To glue all these components together, I'm just using some regular super glue. And one thing I really like about this is all the parts really fit easily. There's not any struggle, there's not any extra material that needs to be cut off. Good job, Revell. With the assembly out of the way, we can move over to laying some color on these pieces, and the colors that I use are chrome silver, flat aluminum, and black, all made by Tamiya. Since these acrylic paints by Tamiya dry pretty well, I didn't really feel the need to actually prime these, and all these components receive 2 layers of their respective color. With airbrushing out of the way, I can move over to doing some finer details by hand using a brush. To begin with, the center portion of the chassis needed to be painted flat aluminum. This includes basically the transmissions. I'm not sure if it has 2 transmissions or just 1. It looks like it has 2 transmissions, but I'm not sure. And the exhaust as well. Now, I could have done this piece with the airbrush, obviously, but in my opinion, it just takes way too much to get that back out after cleaning it, mask this entire piece off when I could just do it by hand. With the center portion of the chassis out of the way, I can move over to detailing some of the other parts, which consisted of the engine cover, chassis components, and also the valve covers. One thing I really like about this kit is all the parts are basically separate from each other, and it makes it really easy to give each piece their color. all the airbrushing and painting out of the way, I could move over to assembling these components. The first thing that needed to be assembled was the engine, as the engine goes onto the chassis, and then after assembling that, I could assemble the chassis together. And to glue all these parts, I'm just using the same regular super glue. With the majority of these components being silver and looking too clean for my liking, I decided that I need to go ahead and dirty it up using some Tamiya panel line accent. Basically, this gives the weathering effect that actually lets it look like the parts are being used and not just like it's a trailer queen. With the weathering out of the way, I can move over to installing the last two chassis components, which consist of a transmission mount and an exhaust brace. With installing those last two chassis components, that wraps up this chassis build. All in all, I would give this chassis a 10 out of 10 because it's really simple and all the details are present. Nevertheless, make sure you leave a comment down below, like, comment, subscribe, and let me know how you feel in this new commentary. It's taking some adjustment to get used to it, but I like it a lot better. Anyways, deuces.